Hi guys, Shirley here, and I'm back with another makeup tutorial. As promised in my last tutorial, this is a cooler toned look, and it is the dramatic kind of smoky eye that I'm wearing here with a bold lip. You can definitely choose a more nude lip and that would tone this look down, but I thought this would be perfect for a special occasion, for holiday parties, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve. All those good, wonderful, fun things are coming up, so I thought this would be perfect for a special occasion that you might have. And I'm using two different palettes. The main shadows come from this Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. It's a great all matte palette, and then the silvery tone shadows coming from this Monarch palette, also by Kat Von D. Those are great high quality shadows. But if you're not in the market for a new palette, I'm sure you'll have similar tone shadows in your collection. So pull those out and let's get started with the tutorial. So first, as always, we're going to prime our eyelids, and I am using the NYX Pro Foundation eyeshadow primer. And then I will go over the top of it with the Bare Minerals 5-in-1. Now that we're all primed, we're going to start with the brow bone highlight, and today I'm going to be using two palettes, as I probably explained in the intro, but the first palette I'm going to be using is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Kit, and I'm going to go in with that creamy vanilla shade as my brow bone highlight. And we're going to pack quite a bit of this on and pull it all the way down to the top of the crease. Whenever we use black eyeshadows like we're going to be using today, you want to make sure that you have something to blend those black shadows into, because otherwise they can be really difficult to blend out and then you look like you've got a black eye. That's not the look we're going for today. So after your brow bone highlight, I'm going to do a trick today which I think makes winged eyeliner and kind of more dramatic eye look so much easier to do, and that is to put, you can either put Scotch tape out here along the lash line, make sure you take off a bunch of the stickiness or it'll really pull your skin when you pull it off, or I like to use these sticky book tabs because they're not nearly as sticky. So I'm going to place that just below the lash line, angled up towards the brow. And the trick is to get both sides on evenly. Okay, so now that we have our little book tabs on, isn't that attractive? We're done. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to go into the crease now. We're going to start with this cool tone. It's getting a little washed out on the camera, but this cool tone gray has a slight little purplish tint to it. So it's not a blue gray, which I think works better for my skin tone personally. And we're just going to messily buff this into the crease. Then going in with a little bit firmer, denser brush, we're going to go into a little bit lower in the crease, and we're going to go into this shade right here, which is a brownish gray. And if you'll notice, I'm not going in with blue grays. I find that on my skin tone, which has more yellow undertones, that warmer grays, which means it has a little bit of brown in it as an undertone rather than cool steely bluey grays, I find that the warmer grays are much more flattering on my skin tone and look just a little bit less dramatic. So if you're a cooler skin tone, you can definitely go in with more of those cooler grays, but I just think these warmer grays are a little easier to pull off. Now's the time for this deep dark black shade, and I'm going to use a flat small brush like this to place the product where I want it. This prevents you from getting so much fallout, because every pigmented black shadow, you're gonna have lots of fallout. So if you just use a flat brush like this, it helps prevent fallout, and it lets you kind of really place where you want that black shade. And now I'm going to drag this into the crease just a little bit and feather it into the middle of the lid. Once you're satisfied with the darkness out here in the outer corner, we're going to take that brush that we used in the crease with the gray shade, no additional product, and blend the top edge of that black. You don't need to go all the way down towards the lid, just blend the edge, because we want to keep that darkness right here at the lash line. Then you can take some of this, that color we used in our crease, the medium brownish gray color, and just go right along the edge, and it will help further blend that black out. And as always, we're going to work our way back to our first brush we used in the crease, and just a hint more of that first color we applied, lighter gray shade. Just make sure that edge is super blended. And now for just a hint more warmth, I'm going to go into, where is it, this peachy shade right here in the palette. And on that fluffy brush that you used for our first crease shade, we're going to just lightly blend this over the top and into that brow bone highlight color. And this is just going to add a tiny bit more warmth. Now for the star of the show, I think one of my favorite kind of shimmery gray colors is from the Kat Von D Monarch Palette. And it is this shade right here. And it is a great mix between kind of a shimmery silver, but it has a hint of a gold undertone. So I just love this look. I think it is really flattering. It doesn't give you that stone cold silver look. This is just a little warmer silver, which I think is a little easier to pull off. We're going to place this on the inner corner and drag it in towards the center of the lid. Once you're satisfied with the amount of shimmer you have there, we're going to go back in with the brush that we used in the crease with that darker gray brown color, and we're just going to blend over the edge of that shimmer, so there's more of a gradient between the inner corner kind of fading out to the black at the outer corner. Now the final thing to pull our lid look together is, of course, black eyeliner. Today I'm going to be using the Tartist clay paint. And this is a really cool thing. You squeeze the product up into this little reservoir here, and then it comes with this nice little bent liner brush. And so we're going to use this as our eyeliner today. And I'm going to do a slight wing, and by having these little bookmark tabs here, it makes a wing so much easier to do. So you want to drag the brush over the edge of that book tab or your Scotch tape, and then I'm going to drag it in towards the inner corner, and as I get closer to the inner corner, my line gets thinner. So it's thicker out here, thinner as we go in. Now once you're satisfied with your eyeliner, it's time to peel off our book tabs and reveal our wonderful handiwork. So gently pull this off, and you will see nice crisp lines. That's what makes these things so nice. Okay, now we're gonna do just a little bit of work along the lower lash line. I'm gonna start with this NYC City Proof 24-hour waterproof eyeliner pencil. This is amazing, stays really well in the waterline, does not smudge throughout the day. So I've been super impressed, and it's like $3 at the drugstore. So then after you've lined your waterline, we're going to just put a little tiny bit here on the outer edge to join up with the line from our upper lid. And if you set your tape or your book tabs correctly, it should almost seamlessly blend right into your lower lash line there. Now going back into our palette, we're going to go in with this kind of medium gray brown color, and I'm going to smudge that right below the lower lash line. And then I'm going to go into this kind of, well, it's about a mid-tone cool brown shade, and I'm going to use it on a tiny little smudge brush like this and just smudge that on the kind of center third of the eye. And I just think this helps soften the look just a little bit. So off camera, I cleaned up under the eye, which is really important, especially when you're doing a black or gray smoky eye, because any gray that you leave under there when you apply your concealer over it, it's just going to make you look like you still have dark circles. So you want to make sure you really clean up well. I applied concealer. I've been using, where is it? I've been using the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and it really is truly amazing. It's hard to get your hands on, but if you're patient, it will come back in stock eventually. So I mixed a little bit of, I have the light neutral shade. I think this was a newer shade that they just released. And then I mixed a little bit of this NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in Olive, and I'm gonna do a blog post on these. It's amazing. You can use these to alter your foundation or your concealer to just the perfect shade. So that's just a little plug for that. So after you've cleaned up under your eye, applied your concealer, now you can see we have a pretty dramatic line here. If you like that, you can leave it as it is. I'm going to just blend it out slightly. First with a clean Q-tip, just gently go over the edge, and you want to blend towards the eyelid. And we're just going to soften that line a little bit on each side. Then we're going to take the brush that has our brow bone highlight color, and I haven't added any additional product, and I'm just going to gently brush over that edge to kind of gently round it out just a smidge. So you kind of use it like an eraser if you've gone too far with your dark colors. You can use that just to kind of gently erase some of that. So now we're going to add a little bit of bronzer to the face. I think it's really important to add a little warmth back to the face when you have these dark, cool tones on our eyes. So I'm going to use the Benefit Hoola bronzer. This is just a little deluxe size I got in a freebie gift set from Sephora. I'm going to use my fun, fluffy contour brush for this. And now it's time for blush. I'm going to use the blush from this Stila palette, this wonderful warm rosy pink shade. I think it's the perfect, for me, kind of a natural flesh color. Now, got to use a very light hand with this blush because it is very pigmented. For highlight, I'm going to use the Lorac Starlight highlighter powder. I've really been enjoying this. It's such a beautiful highlight. I'm going to use this Real Techniques Duo Fiber brush to apply that. You can apply one layer and it's pretty natural, or you can amp it up by going over the top of it one more time. So if you're afraid of getting too much highlight, this is a great one because it's very buildable. I'm going to use that same highlight to highlight the inner corner of my eye, and I'm just going to take a pencil brush to do that. This is something I always do because I think it really brings some good brightness to the eyes. Now for lips, you could definitely do a nude lip with this eye look, and that would be generally what I would go towards. But as we're heading into the holiday season, maybe you have holiday parties, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve, all that good stuff. Sometimes we like to add a little more drama. I have a choral concert I'll be playing for, and I always think a red lip is just what you need for that. So I'm going to add a red lip, and I'm going to start by doing a combination of 2 lip liners. This is my NYX lip pencil. These really are my favorite liners, and they're about $3.50 at Ulta, unless you get them on sale, and they're even cheaper. So I'm going to use a combination of nutmeg and deep red, and then I'll show you what we're going to use for our lipstick. So by putting that brown lip liner down first, it keeps the red from being too pink or way too bright. So if you're kind of like me and you're a little intimidated by really bright, bold red lips, this is one way you can kind of tone it down a little bit. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use, this is new from Bite. This is from this adorable little lip set, and these have 4 little mini lipsticks. We're going to use these 2 right here. First one, which is called Nori. It's a pretty dark, and it has a little more brown in it. So we're going to do that first. The formula on these lipsticks is just wonderful. It feels great on the lips, but it doesn't bleed outside your lip line. So, just love these. And then I'm going to do a little bit in the center just to kind of tone down just slightly the red. I'm going to use a little bit of the honeycomb shade. Now last is going to be our mascara. We can't leave that out, and if you're going to wear false lashes, you can put those on too. Personally, I hardly ever wear false lashes. They're just a little too uncomfortable for me to wear, but I'm going to go in with my favorite combination, the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer Mascara, and then followed with the L'Oreal, or the CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara. Alright guys, so that wraps up this dramatic smoky look. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.